Real combat. Real action. Carnage Media.
Welcome back to another episode of Carnage Unleashed. I am Zach Dominique, and here with me, as always, is Clayton Scalina and Connor Smith. Guys, we just had a fantastic night of fights for Carnage Fight Series 5, Fights Before Christmas. Guys, just before we even dig into this, what were your thoughts here on this card? Because I had a great time last night. Clayton, let's start with you, man. What were your thoughts on this card overall?
Man, top to bottom, you had a little bit of everything in this show. Obviously, like most shows here in Ohio, we started with the Emmys. You had everything. We had a couple knockdown, drag-out brawls that went the distance, a couple quick finishes in there too, a couple hometown guys getting victories. And on the pro side, we had 2 first-round finishes. And arguably the most surprising fight of the night in our main event. But it was a great time. Loved it. Great way to end the year here at Carnage Media.
Yes, exactly. I agree with you. Connor, man, what were your thoughts on this card? I mean, you were right there, right in front center, best seats of the house.
Absolutely, man. I did have the best seats in the house. Like I said, great fights, like Clayton said, top to bottom. There was a little bit of everything. Like there was it was funny, the first fight I even talked about, that's a good one to open with, and it started well. It kept the momentum going all the way to the end of the night with that great fight with Charlie. Like I said, great night of fights, a little bit of everything. I'm excited to break it down and give you my thoughts on what I was thinking during every fight as well.
Yeah, and speaking of that starting with that first card, Grant Waybright versus Shawn Freeman. Now, what probably a lot of people didn't know is that this fight, we determined whoever won this fight was going to fight for the 145 title here. So I'm excited to see how this turns out and who we can match up with Shawn Freeman, because Shawn Freeman won this fight by unanimous decision. I love this fight. It was great. Start with you, Connor, man. What was your thoughts on Shawn Freeman's victory over Grant Waybright?
Yeah, I was very impressed with Shawn Freeman. I've watched him fight a lot throughout his career. He gets so much better every time he fights. And it was funny because before the fight started, I was talking on commentary. I was like, these two, it's a good fight to start the show because they're probably just going to stand and strike the whole time. And then I think they were on the ground within 7 seconds. So they really made me look smart by doing that. So I appreciate that. But it was a good fight, and I was very impressed with Freeman, his demeanor and his composure. He stayed really calm in some tricky situations. You had a guy like Grant who hits hard, throwing overhands at you and trying to take you down. He was in some weird spots. He got stuck in almost in a triangle at one point, in a rear naked choke. They were like dueling leg locks at one point. He was in a lot of spots that were iffy, and a lot of people would get nervous, but he stayed composed, and he was able to get his way out of there, get in the dominant positions, and secure himself a win. I was very impressed, and I believe he did for sure earn himself a title shot. He deserves it.
Yes, exactly. I mean, Shawn Freeman has been fighting a lot of tough opponents, and I feel like you said, I just feel like that experience transferred over into this fight against Grant, and it was fantastic. It wasn't that Grant didn't do a good job either. Grant, which was different because Grant was going for takedowns, which I've never seen him do that before.
No, I thought for sure he's going to be striking all night.
Because he's a striker.
Yeah.
Clayton, what were your thoughts on this bout?
I agree. The fight even started. Grant threw an overhand and then immediately went into a takedown. A lot of really entertaining scrambles, too, here on the ground. Grant did a great job at throwing up some very weird body triangles. Like, they wound up in a couple different positions that I'd never seen before on the analyst side. So, definitely entertaining on the ground. Shawn did a good job, though, when he was on top and delivering damage. His ground and pound was superb in that fight. I definitely think he deserved the nod. Hoping that we can find somebody at 145 to make a title fight for him. Like you guys touched on, he's fought a lot of tough guys. He's worked his way back to the top. So I 100% think that Shawn Freeman should get the next title shot.
I agree. Because I think at one point I thought that it was like Shawn Freeman was on top, but then at the same time Grant had a body triangle on him, and I was like, dude, how did you get in this? It's a very awkward situation, bad for both of you guys, but Shawn took advantage of that situation, was inflicting damage in those positions, and I think that's why he got the nod, because in those tough positions, Grant wasn't putting in those little pot shots that kind of score you those extra points with the judges, but Shawn was.
Yeah,
and I think that's
100% agree with that. At the end of the day, Dana White always says damage first. Damage first. Every time. Damage first. Shawn Freeman inflicted more damage. Plain and simple.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. But it was nice to see that Grant was changing up his styles, just kind of show, hey, I'm not one-dimensional. I know these are things that people think I lack in, so I'm going to try to showcase them. And I think we saw that a lot throughout the card, though, too. A lot of people doing that stuff, which is good. I like seeing that development of the fighters. We've seen a lot of these guys, especially the amateurs, have been on Carnage Media a lot. So we've seen a lot of these guys grow, and I love seeing them develop as fighters. Grant is a punching kind of a fighter. He likes to stand and bang. Seeing him go for takedowns is nice. I like seeing that development, showing he's got multiple tools to work with. It's just hard to do that against Shawn Freeman, who likes to go to the ground most of the time. So, but moving on, we move on to the second bout of the night. This one, lasted 30 seconds? Was it?
Yep.
Was it even 30
like
seconds?
Nice and quick.
Jonathan King versus Markell Martin, first round TKO. Fantastic. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. I mean, there's not much to really break down here, guys. So, Connor, we'll start with you. What were your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, it's kind of how I thought it would go. I figured whoever won that fight, it was going to be done in that way. It was going to be who came out hot first and was able to take advantage of the other one right at the beginning, and it ended up being Jonathan taking that over Markell. He put the pressure on him early, and he did do something a little slick. When the middle of this little scramble they're having on the feet, he throws his knee and kind of hits the back of the thigh of Markell and kind of spins Markell to the side, and when he does, he's able to take his back and take him down from there, which I thought was really slick, whether he meant to do it or not. If I was him, I would say I totally did it on purpose. It was very slick. I was able to get him to the ground and finish it with some ground and pound. So very fast, very quick, but very entertaining and impressive from Jonathan.
Yes, I agree with you. It was very entertaining, and like you said, I would claim that. Yeah, I planned that. That's what I went in my training camp and decided that's what I'm going to do. Clayton, what were your thoughts on this bout?
Yeah, first shout out to Jonathan King. He's an adrenaline guy, and he fought in Sandusky. That's good for him to get a win in his hometown, and he should be proud of that. When you face a guy with 6 fights, when you only have 2. Records aside, he's got 6 fights worth of experience. That's not something that you can take lightly, especially on the amateur side, like kind of how Connor said, anybody can come out hot and win. Like it's not rocket science. If guys come out swinging hard, if you get clipped, he could have easily been on the other side. But stay composed. We'll call that an intentional knee that he threw there for sure. Took his back, ground and pound. What more could you ask for? Great performance from Jonathan King.
Exactly. I mean, that's why we fight, right? Because at any point, someone can win. That's
exactly
the beautiful thing about fighting. And it's why we keep on coming back for more. But yeah, I'm excited to kind of see more of Jonathan King. That's not the first time we've seen him. There's the first time we've seen Markell Martin on Carnage Media, but I can't wait to see. I want to see more of him, because I didn't really get to see a whole lot from him with only 30 seconds of a fight. So I would really love to kind of get him back on a card and really see him as a fighter and go a couple of rounds. I'd love to see that, what he can do. Because we've seen Jonathan, we just haven't seen Markell. So I would love to see more of him.
And then almost how I felt too. Like when I'm thinking about breaking down this fight, we'll get into this a little bit more with another fighter on the card. But if I only see 30 seconds of you, I don't know what you can actually do. Right. You know what I mean? You could be a great wrestler, great submissions, but if you clip somebody in the first 30 seconds, I'm gonna be like, dude, that guy's a world-class kickboxer, bro. I saw it with my own eyes. I know how this works. So I'm also interested to see Markell in the future. And we'd definitely like to have him back.
Yes, I agree with you there. And then we move on to the third bout of the evening, which was James Gibson versus Jay Bashaw, which ended in a TKO in the third round. Love to see a third round finish because we get to see a whole lot of action between these fighters. We get to see a little bit of everything. Clayton, what was your thoughts on this bout here?
So we got a guy who kind of gives Cowboy Cerrone a run for his money in activity, right? So we got obviously James Hot Sauce Gibson. We've seen him on Carnage Media before. And then we have Jay Bashaw, who I think is one of the most athletic prospects we've seen on Carnage Media. Just a strong, athletic build, can kind of do it all. And we got to see a lot of his wrestling in this fight. He did a great job at taking James Gibson down. And we've seen James Gibson put a couple good slams on people, too. So it's not like he's going in there with a guy who only knows how to kickbox. But, excuse me, Jay did a great job. I was very, very impressed with his performance tonight. Ended up getting a finish late in the third round, but he dominated the entire fight. I think that he looked great throughout. Definitely could use some polishing for sure on technique here and there, but he's a very, very interesting prospect and somebody that we need to keep an eye on going into 2026.
Oh, yes, I agree. And plus, Gibson has how many more fights over him as well, too. So it's not like Jay has had that many fights. So just seeing where he is already is encouraging to see what his career will be if he sticks with this going forward and into the pros. I'm very excited to see that. Connor, what was your thoughts?
Yeah, I was very impressed with Jay. Like I said, that was my first time seeing him in person, just realizing how big of a human he is. That dude is huge. And he went out there and he fought like a big dude. He was strong. He got some big, aggressive takedowns, big slams. And kind of like what Clayton said, there's some things he needs to polish up a little bit. Like it's there. The foundation is there. But the finishes in his fights could come sooner if he would polish up and slow down on some things. He was going a little too aggressive. There were some times where he was on Gibson's back. And he's attacking the choke before he had both boots in. He only had one boot in. He starts falling off to the side because he doesn't have both in. He needs to settle a little bit, calm down, position over submission, and then find himself to finish there. So it was a lot of repetitiveness throughout the fights. It was him getting Gibson down, getting Mount, throwing grounded pound. Gibson bellies out. He goes for the rear naked choke. Can't finish it. Back to Mount, back and forth. Like so many times, he's so close to finishing. The ref's right there looking at it, but it just wasn't quite enough. If he would just settle, do a little bit things different, he could have got himself a finish probably a little bit quicker. So Jay's a great talent, athletic kid. So once he starts polishing up on his skills, he's going to be even more of a monster than he already is.
I agree. What I really want, and I think I need to as a matchmaker, is I need to find someone who will stand with James Gibson. I want to see someone who will actually stand with him because I feel like every fight that we see, they all go for the takedown for James. Which is unfortunate because I do want to see his stand-up game. I want to see what he can do standing up. I think he gets in with a lot of these guys and there's like, well, we know that James has a difficult time on the ground. That's maybe not difficult, but that's not his strong point. And so everyone attacks that, which as a fighter you should. But I would like to try to see and find someone who will stand and bang with Gibson. But Jay, I thought Jay did a fantastic job. He did what he came. He had a game plan, came in, he executed, and I agree with Connor. If he would take his time and do what needs to be right, he would have finished that a lot sooner. I think there was many times in the first round he couldn't finish it. Many times in the second round he could have finished it. And that's just the lack of experience right now. When you're in the cage, you're still kind of a fresh new fighter. You're going to be antsy. You're trying to finish it before. As we say, you don't try to do anything. It just kind of happens. It's when it's the best way to have it just naturally kind of happen. Let me do everything right. Oh, look, there it is. Whether that's punching or on the ground. So I thought it still was a great fight. 3 rounds, TKO, beautiful finish for Jay. So congratulations to Jay on that one. Now we're coming up to, which I'm going to already say right now. I want to say that this is, for me, the fight of the night. That's just my opinion. I don't know if you guys agree or disagree. If you disagree, screw you guys. Deacon Sawchuk versus Kyle Paul. It went the distance. It's not what I expected to happen in this fight. But this fight was amazing, guys. Just from start to finish, brutal fight everywhere in every section of this fight. Connor, we'll start with you. What was your thoughts on Deacon's victory over Kyle Paul?
I was very entertained and impressed with this fight. Even before we started on the pay-per-view, I was talking to Amin, and I pointed at that fight. I said, that's a sleeper fight. I said, that's a fight that's going to be entertaining, that I'm very interested in. And Deacon came out the way I thought he would. We know that dude has the touch of death in his fist, and he was trying to land it every time on Kyle, but Kyle stayed with it. He didn't immediately shoot for takedowns. He tried to strike with him, landed some strikes of his own, and I knew it was really going to test what else Deacon could do. We don't have much tape on him. He had 2 fights that were over quick, so we knew he wanted to strike. We didn't know how good his gas tank was. We didn't know if he could wrestle. We didn't know if he could grapple. He got to see they could do a little bit of everything. He was shooting his takedowns and getting some takedowns on Kyle. He was showing that his gas tank could go 3 rounds. I was very impressed with him, but again, very impressed with Kyle. That dude defended takedowns. I believe got some of his own, landed some good shots on Deacon, and was taking advantage of the openings that were given. Unfortunately, there has to be a winner and there has to be a loser, but I felt both guys looked like winners in that fight, and that was one of the most entertaining fights I've watched in person in a long time. So I was very impressed with both of those guys.
I agree with you. It was just super entertaining. I mean, from start to finish, I was on the edge of my seat. Clayton, what were your thoughts on this fight?
So I was also like Connor. I was like, damn, I really want to see what Kyle and Deacon can put together. Because, Deacon was another one of those guys where the first time I saw him was in Bowling Green at Combate MVP, where he made his debut. He got a 9-second KO. And as impressive as that was, I was like, damn, I really want to see more of what this guy can do. Because he's just a little ball of muscle, right? He's like 5'9", 5'10", but weighed in at 170, looked great, jacked, all that good stuff. But ended up getting disqualified against James Gibson. Mistakes happen. It's the NBC, right? That's where we learn. But when he came into this fight, I was like, okay, I really think against a guy like Kyle Paul, we're going to see what kind of fighter Deacon Sawchuk is. And we saw that. Deacon, I thought he was going to get out personally, guys, especially in the first 2 rounds. That guy throws to end you. Like, there is not a single strike that he threw that entire fight that wasn't with bad intentions. So that was a lot of fun to watch. Saw him get some takedowns. Kyle got a couple takedowns. And shout out Kyle Paul's chin, man. That guy's tough. He ate a couple of big right hands where I was like, damn, dude, that would have put on like probably 70% of the Ohio Andy welterweights right there. But I agree with Connor. That fight was a ton of fun, start to finish. Both guys looked great. I'm going to play matchmaker here, though, real quick. So we have a 2-1 Deacon Sawchuk now, and there's another 2-1 welterweight who I do not believe is booked for a fight right now, Josh Frazier. I think that Deacon Sawchuk and Josh Frazier is the fight to make right now in 2026. Those are two tough welterweight prospects, 2 guys that definitely are learning the ropes, getting to know what they're doing. I would like to see them on a collision course in 2026. So, Deacon Sawchuk, Josh Frazier, Carnage Fight Series 6. Let's make it happen, guys.
Well, I know you're saying that, but don't you think that might be a better title fight?
I mean,
maybe get them both one. So maybe get them both one more win, and then we can get them a title fight.
Well, isn't Mock's the champ though, isn't he? At 170, correct?
Mock.
This could be a title eliminator.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right. So maybe we could do something like that where we have them fight, and then winner takes on Mock. Yeah. I like that.
It's right in itself. There's 2 shows worth of fights right there.
Dude, we're getting this whole match.
There it is.
I'll tell you what, we're starting to figure this stuff out.
Well, I have to give Kyle Paul's. We cannot say he's got a glass jaw from this fight. Now, there's many times, Connor, you probably wouldn't be able to hear, but I could hear the corners, and I could hear Deacon's corner most of the time say, "Calm down, calm down, don't." Calm down. You're going to waste your energy. But
he couldn't.
3 rounds. He didn't calm down, and he came with it, man. He came with it. So there's some nasty slam. It was like Deacon got like, it was like, I don't know if he got upset, if he got mad, or just something. And I remember there's a slam where Kyle Paul's head just bounced off the mat. I was like, oh my gosh, how is he still able to fight right now? Because
Kev thought it was going to be over sitting next to me. He thought that was going to be the end of the fight. And he's all hunched up like this. I was like, I think Kyle's okay, but that was a tough slam. Smacked his head hard on the cage.
Oh my goodness, dude. That fight, I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. It's like, what is going to happen next? I don't know.
Deacon is just
pure aggression. let me peer into the future here a little bit too, guys. Let me throw this out there too. If Deacon Sawchuk got, let's say, 2 or 3 more wins early next year, You know, he gets a lot of fights in, let's say 2 fights. That put him at 4-1. There's going to be a guy who's maybe looking for one more fight before he turns pro. That would be a lot of fun if Aaron Mock wasn't available for a title for whatever reason. Braden Benson and Deacon Sawchuk would be a lot of fun if we can get that together.
Yeah, because I know that Brandon, he's right now he's wrestling, and he won't be done wrestling, I think, until like what,
May-ish. Yeah,
May,
that's what he said.
March.
I believe he doesn't want to fight until after he graduates. I think that's what he's been saying on different podcasts and stuff. Is like early summer next year, he's either going to do a couple boxing fights or maybe one more AMI.
I can see him doing one more AMI and then turning pro. I know he wants to do one more AMI and then turn pro. He told me that himself, that after wrestling, he wants to get a little tune-up fight because he'll be out of it for like a little over 6 months with wrestling in college. And then he wants to get one more and then turn pro. I don't blame him. And yeah, I think that's a great plan for him. So yeah.
And those are 2 dudes that can crack too. Like either one of those guys could put the other out.
Yep. And so that'd be a great matchup. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, just throw it out there. Just throw it out there. It'd be a lot of fun, you know.
And then we start getting into the main card of the evening, which started off with Juwan Minniefield and Kaiden Hastings. First of all, shout out to Kaiden Hastings. He took this fight. I mean, he was supposed to fight somebody else at a weight division lower at 145. And then we had Minniefield's opponent fell through. As we kind of had a theme going on with this card, people getting sick and people backing out, unfortunately, due to injuries or being sick, which is unfortunate, but hey, welcome to the Midwest, guys. That's what happens in December in the Midwest. People get sick and they just can't. You don't want to go out there and perform at 25%. You know what I mean? Because it happens. I get it. So Kaiden goes, I'll fight him. He seems like a fun guy to fight. I was like, dude, Kaiden, I love you, man, because you'll fight anybody, won't you? And he's like, yeah, I don't care. It's fun. So Kaiden's got a great thing. But Juwan got away with took the win, 2nd round TKO. Clayton, what was your thoughts on this fight?
Just a great performance from Juwan Minniefield, realistically. Like you said, shout out to Kaiden Hastings for taking that fight. He definitely knew that he was going to have a tough go of it when you're facing a guy like Juwan Minniefield in his hometown. You know, I think that half the people there probably were brought by Juwan Minniefield. So that's a tough environment to go in there and win a fight in. But hey, he took him to the 2nd round. Juwan obviously ended up finishing him, but good fight. And I would like to think Juwan will be turning pro here relatively soon. He's 28. He's got 8 AMI fights. I know he gets around to train a lot, so I'm definitely looking for him to make some noise maybe on the pro scene in 2026. I think personally, from an analyst perspective, there's just not much left for him on the AMI side. So I'd like to see him turn pro and see what he can do.
Well, he talked to me after the fight, and I was kind of surprised. This might change, but he was like, yeah, I might want to get like maybe 2 more amateur fights in before I go pro. And I'm just like, hey, that's up to you. But I think you're ready to go pro, personally. But if you want to get a couple more in, maybe grab a couple more belts just so you've got some extra hardware on your wall. That way you can be like Connor here and hang them on your wall back there. More power to you. Just I think I like when amateurs want to get more fights in, just because they're like, I want to get this experience. This is before my record really counts. So let's go out and have some fun. And I think that's what Juwan is thinking. But I agree with you. I think in 2026, I think he will turn pro. It might be more towards the end or the middle of the year, but we'll see what he decides. That's just what he had told me. Connor, what was your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, of course, like you said, shout out to Kaiden, man, for taking that fight. Juwan's been having so much trouble finding opponents at all different promotions, trying to find title fights, guys his weight. Can't find nothing. Kaiden steps in and has some bright spots in that fight. when you're on the feet with Cade Hastings, you got to be careful because that dude is a really good kickboxer. He landed some good shots on Juwan, and Juwan even said, he cracked me a couple times, so I had to start wrestling, is what he said. Like, Caiden's going to make you wrestle no matter what, just because you don't want to strike with that guy. So shout out to him. He landed some good shots against a tough high-level opponent. He did his thing, but ultimately, congratulations to Juwan. And like I said, I think he's ready to go pro. I know you talked about him wanting to do more amateur. I don't know if he's going to find anyone to fight. He's going to have to probably travel pretty far to find someone to fight as an amateur. So he might have to bite the bullet and go pro now, which I think he could. I think he's ready to go pro. Like I said, he's got, I believe, 7 amateur wins now with some titles. So I think he's ready for it. I mean, he had a good performance. He showed that he can strike, he can wrestle, he can grapple. He showed that he's ready. So ultimately, congratulations to him. But I think it's time to dip into those pro ranks for Juwan.
Like you said, yeah, I agree. He has a very hard time fighting any amateur that's going to fight him. So he might have to go to the pros just because nobody's going to fight him.
He was talking about before his fight too. He was supposed to fight for who? Cage Thunder was supposed to have a title fight there. Ended up having a guy back out. There was another promotion, I believe, in there at one point too. He was supposed to fight. Couldn't find anybody. Nobody wants to fight him, which makes sense. Obviously he's in there finishing fights. All of his wins are by knockout. So yeah, like I said, I'll never be like, nah, that's dumb. If somebody's like, I want to get a couple more fights in just to get some more experience, but I think there aren't a whole lot of 45ers around, even on the pro side, that I wouldn't like match up with him and feel comfortable with him being in there and being competitive.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I don't know all the promotions, but I know he was telling me and complaining. He's like, man, can't get any fights. Nobody wants to fight me.
Yeah. I don't blame him. Can't say that I blame him.
It's as a fighter, as an amateur myself who had a hard time finding fights at some point in my career, I get it. You're like, man, I do want some more experience in the amateur level, but no one will fight. So you're kind of forced to go pro because they're like, if I'm going to fight that guy, I better get a paycheck.
Right.
I understand. But great fight, great night for Juwan. Thank you, Kaiden. I really appreciate you stepping up, man. I really do. And I'm sure Juwan is very appreciative as well because he's just happy to get in there and fight for his home crowd there in Sandusky. And the crowd erupted when he won. I mean, it was loud. So moving on, we're moving to our final amateur fight of the night, which was Andrew Gamblin versus Nate Murphy. Andrew Gamblin was defending his 135 bantamweight title here at Carnage Fight Series. That's not the only strap he's got. He also has Egos. He's got the 155 strap at Egos, right? That boy bumped up 2 weight classes to fight Shawn Freeman and won. You know what I mean? This guy is jumping all over the place. So great there. So Andrew Gamblin defends his title and wins TKO second round. What was your guys' thoughts on this, Connor? We'll start with you.
I was very impressed with Gamblin. He keeps doing his thing every fight. It seems like that's how it goes. He's I was joking around on commentary. Reminds me of an anime character, super goofy guy, over the top, but he wins and he's dangerous. I mean, I've seen him catch a lot of people with that right hand and do some damage. I personally thought Nate Murphy was going to be the biggest challenge that Gamblin has seen on this little win streak that he's had. I thought he stylistically had the style and the recipe to defeat Gamblin, take him down, smother him, make him grapple, because we never really get to see Gamblin grapple. Everybody tries to strike with him, and then they end up getting knocked out. So I thought Murphy had the right idea. I think he had the right idea in the first round. I think he could have capitalized again in the second, but we were talking about on commentary. He was jab, jab, jab. He threw like 3 jabs in a row. Gamblin's waiting. Then he throws a 4th one, and that's when Gamblin came right over top with that hook. He got a little too comfortable throwing the same thing over and over. I feel like Nate could have took it to the ground, had a better opportunity of winning that fight, but ultimately Gamblin took advantage of it. And although when it did go to the ground, Gamblin was really good about getting back up. He was never on the ground getting smothered. As soon as his butt would touch the ground, boom, he was standing right back up. So he was really good at getting back up, getting the fight where he wanted it on the feet, and ultimately, again, found a place for that right hand and defends his title and gets another win. I believe he's like, 6-1 now as an amateur, some crazy record like that. So congratulations to that dude, man. He's beating good competition, so you can't knock him.
No, you can't at all. Gamblin put on a fantastic. He's been putting on a fantastic show for every place that he's gone. Clayton, what was your thoughts on this?
Man, Andrew Gamblin's quick, dude. Like watching him, even just throwing a leg kick, he is quick, man. Everything he does is fast, precise. Like you said too, Connor. When he would get taken down, he wasn't getting held down. He was just getting taken down. He popped right back up. And obviously, you got to mix it up when you're facing a guy with that kind of hand speed. And Nate didn't do that. Paid the price for it. That was a really quick right hand too, man. Like that was something to see for sure. Make sure to watch for that one on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen, for when that one comes out. But definitely a solid performance. You'd expect nothing less from a champion. He's got a defense, and you got to start wondering too. Like obviously, we just talked about Juwan. Andrew Gamblin might be ready to turn pro here soon too. 135. I absolutely could see him making a ton of noise. He's fast, strong. Got a good gym, obviously. Adrenaline knows what they're doing up there. I'm curious to see when he might be turning pro. I could see maybe one more title defense for Carnage Fight Series, get one more, and then maybe him also turning professional in 2026. So very, very excited to see what's in store for Andrew Gamblin going forward.
Yeah, I can definitely see Andrew Gamblin turning pro in 2026. Don't know what quite his plans are. I mean, he did say that he would fight anybody who's willing to try to take the belt from him. Keyword try.
Right.
And so, but like you guys said, Andrew, he did everything right. Someone tried to take him down, he's getting right up. He's not settling and going, okay, well, let me get defensive. Nope, I'm getting right up. I'm getting back into my comfort zone. And before the fights, I think I heard Nate Murphy even ask, hey, you fought Andrew Gamblin before. What's your thoughts on him? And the only thing the person said, he's quick. You got to watch out because he is fast. And he's like, all right, anything else? He's like, he's fast. Just you got to be watch out for that speed. And he's like, okay, all right.
Yeah, my reaction on commentary to that was almost delayed. It was so fast. I wasn't ready for it. Like all of a sudden I was like, oh, wait a minute. I was like, he just rocked him good. Like I was like a couple seconds behind it. So it was very fast and very impressive. And then talking about him going pro, I think he's ready for it. I'm curious on what he walks around at weight-wise because obviously he's fighting at 35. But I stood next to him and talked to him. We're close to the same size, and obviously I fight one weight class below, so I don't know if it's possible for him for the pro level. If he could get to 25 at the pro level, that could do some damage because just, once you get pro, guys start cutting a lot of weight. They got that day before weigh and they get big. So there's going to be some big 35ers out there. So like I said, I don't know where he's at, weight-wise or anything, but I feel if he could bump down one more, he could do some serious damage up there.
Yeah, that's a question that I should ask him sometime. Is just like, hey, what's your walk around weight?
Yeah,
where do you walk around? Just curious. But
him and Nate both seemed kind of, they were lean little guys for 135. I thought so. I feel like they both could have a future down one if they felt like making the cut, which is definitely easier to talk about than to do. So,
yeah. and Nate Murphy is still pretty early in his amateur career.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's a lot of potential within Nate Murphy and going forward. And I'm very excited to see what he takes away from this fight and applies it to his next fight. And I'm really hoping we can have it on Carnage Media because I like I tell you guys all the time, I love watching the development of these fighters, seeing them with day one into when they're about ready to turn pro. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing to see these guys do. That's one reason why I love coaching too, is because you get to see a guy or a girl, whoever's training, come in, have no lick of talent in this area. And then you see them even go to their first fight. And you're like, wow, you're so much better than when you first walked in. I mean, Connor, you could probably attest to that just for your own personal growth and seeing yourself from like the first time you went in to train to where you are even now.
Yeah, some of my old fights, I can't watch them. I hate. I'm like, what am I doing? I totally get that. So, like I said, Nate's still super young. And he's good. It's not like he was getting outclassed that fight. You could argue he won that first round based off of pure, positional control and everything. So, I mean, he's a good fighter. He just got caught. He's going to be back and have some more impressive wins on his resume, no doubt.
Yeah, because fighting Andrew Gamblin and going to the second round, that's amazing. And being able to say, hey, I might have won that first round. You know, we don't get to see the judges' scorecards, but he could have won that first round. And saying that in a title fight against a veteran like Andrew Gamblin is a statement in itself. So he needs to keep his head up high and just get back to training camp and get ready for the next fight, because if he can learn from this, he's going to be such a better fight from this. So then moving on to our pro portion of the night, we start off with John Leark versus JD McNett. Now, John Leark won this in the first round rear naked choke. Clayton, let's start with you. What was your thoughts on this first pro bout of the evening?
Yeah. When you go into two guys who've never been pro, you know, we had debut on debut. You never know what you're going to get. You might have some idea for sure because you have that amateur background, but you really don't know. You know, the pro rule set is completely different, especially here in Ohio. So going into this fight, I didn't really know what to expect. I knew a little bit about John Leark, obviously, former collegiate wrestler, fought a lot of good guys on the amateur scene, and obviously we've seen JD a lot before here on Carnage Media. So I was very curious to see how this fight would go down, and an early finish kind of surprised me, to be completely honest. I did not think a finish was going to come in the first round for either guy, but shout out to John Leark, man. He looked great. That's exactly what you want to do in a pro debut. You got him down, controlled him, set up a couple submissions, didn't get it the first or second time, but wound up finishing him with a rear naked choke. So definitely what you want to see out of John Leark. And JD, definitely same thing as Nate Murphy, right? Keep your head up. You know, you're one fight into your pro MMA career. You've had 3 pro fights total, including boxing. So just stay in the room. You're going to keep getting better, especially because he's mixing in with some of the pro guys over at Demolition, like Quentin Richards, Charlie Cleveland, Dylan Budka, Gates Cook, all those guys. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing JD McNett again, but John Leark definitely deserves his flowers for tonight. That's about as good of a pro debut as you can ask for.
Yeah, and hey, John Leark, one of his only losses as an amateur was to Quentin Richards. He fought him way back in 2022. I mean, and that's a tough fight in itself. I mean, so we know the boy's tough. Being able to fight with Quentin, because Quentin's an undefeated fighter in amateur in all combat sports and as a pro. So, Connor, what was your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, here in 2022, that fight, I was still in high school when he had that fight with Quentin. That's but no, I was very impressed with Leark. He dominated that fight. He looked good on the feet, and then he obviously got it done on the ground. And it was just, for JD, man, I think that's just stylistically, that was just a bad matchup for him. JD is a short, stockier wrestler, so you think, oh, I got this tall, long striker, I can take him down. Well, then you look into John Leark and realize that this dude can wrestle really well. So it's like, man, this guy's good at everything. What am I supposed to do? It's not that JD's bad. It's not that JD had a bad night. He just fought a guy that was stylistically was a bad matchup for him. But JD said he wanted to, once he went pro, he wanted to take tough fights, and he took one right at the beginning against John Leark. He landed some good shots on the feet. I believe it was a Superman punch, if I remember right, or something. He lands right through the guard of Leark, and I saw Leark's eyes open, like, oh, okay, like he caught me there. So it was like I said, it was a good performance from Leark. He ended up getting the job done, and I like watching him. He's a nice guy. He's a real funny guy too. So I like to see I'm definitely going to follow and see what he does next after this fight.
Yeah, and I'll be honest. I think John had a little bit of a tough cut. I don't know. I saw him when he was that way, and I'm gonna be honest with you, John. I apologize. I'm making fun of you a little bit here, but when you first came in, I was like, "This isn't the audition for The Walking Dead zombies, okay, buddy?" But
John, even in his tune-up video that we had beforehand,
I was gonna say,
I was like, "Damn it, dude, is he he looked rough?"
I know.
I didn't even tell that just watching the video. I was like, "Jeez,
I know.
This guy."
Let him drink a bottle of water first.
We did. I promise you, I went and I got him water, okay? Before
that boy cut some weight.
Yeah, he did. Hopefully they fed him. What I mean? At least give him something. We leading up to the fight. Jeez Louise, bro. His face was starting to sink in a little bit.
But he looked great fight time. He looked good. He got rehydrated. He looked good. And he looked good inside the cage. I mean, he did. He dominated on the ground. Yeah. He really did. He came in and he dominated, which is not. I mean, I know he's a wrestler, but I haven't really watched a lot of John Leark's fights, so I was expecting JD to take to the ground where it ended up, and him to being able to wrestle with him a lot better, because both of these fighters as amateurs, their last fights were title fights. So we got two former amateur belt winners coming in for the pro, and it is what it is. Sometimes you just find that guy who's just better at what you're good at than you are, and it's unfortunate, but JD needs to keep his head up. I'm excited to see what he's going to do. I hope he learned a lot from this loss. I always feel you learn more from a loss than you do from a victory, especially as a fighter. At least if you want to improve and be better, you're going to learn from a loss a lot more than a victory. So still, kudos to both of them. First round rear naked choke. Great submission. Congratulations to John. Then we go to our co-main event, which was Jimmy Sandlin versus Jay Haas. And let me tell you, first round knockout. Beautiful. I'm trying to remember. Was it a hook, Connor? It was a hook that got him, or because it wasn't a straight. I'm trying to remember.
They both came. He came right over top. Like Haas threw one punch, went right under. He comes over top, hits Haas right over top of his punch. So Haas's punch just missed, and Sandlin's just lands right over top on the chin and sat him down.
Literally, he just sat down.
Literally sat him down. He sat straight down to his butt and fell backwards. It was legit.
Yeah. So, before that knockout, though, what was your thoughts about the fight that was going on?
But I obviously had seen Jimmy fight, so I knew that dude was down to scrap and down to strike. And Haas I hadn't seen fight, but just I even said on commentary, just based off his look, I was like, this guy might be a wrestler. I was getting wrestler vibes. He didn't try to wrestle. They both stood and struck the whole time. Both were very fast, hard, heavy leg kicks that they were throwing. And I had a feeling with that being pro fights and 5-minute rounds, I was like, there's the way these guys are throwing. I'd be surprised if we make it to round 2. And then, of course, Jimmy catches the punch right over top. A walk-off knockout. No ground and pound needed, he thought. Walked away. Gets himself a knockout. Very impressive. And I think Jimmy's on him a 3-fight win streak now with 3 first-round finishes. So
yes,
he's got a hot streak going.
Knockout streak. Not just a 3-fight win streak. 3-fight knockout streak.
Yeah, quick knockouts too, I believe.
Yeah, they've all been quick. Now, I'm looking right now at Jay Haas's resume here, and he has ground finishes. I mean, he's got a first-round triangle choke, first-round rear naked choke. So it sounds like he can do both. He can stand and he can grapple. I mean, this guy's also a Bellator vet. I mean, I don't know if you guys knew that. He had fought in Bellator 4 times and stuff like that. He's very seasoned. And good news though. I mean, I was talking to Jay, and Jay seems like he's interested in coming back and fighting on another card with us, which I'm very excited about because I want to see more of these guys. When they're quick finishes and that. Do I like it? Yeah, of course I do. But I also like to see the fighters. I want to see what all they have in their arsenal, and all that stuff. So I'm really excited. I hope Jay does come back and we can see more of him. But kudos to Jimmy. I know we're talking a lot about Jay, but Jimmy, fantastic job, man. I got no other words. It was a beautiful knockout. It was beautiful. Caught him that perfect button. Just sat him on down. Clayton, man, what was your thoughts on this?
Well, if you won't talk up Jimmy, then I definitely will. Like we talked about, Jimmy's on a 3-fight knockout streak now. Starting with Kevin Barberina, younger brother of my buddy Brian, UFC vet. So that was a serious win down Future of Fighting in Kentucky. His second win against Avron Williams, up a bunch of weight too. Like Jimmy's a natural 55er. Jimmy is a good fit at 55. He jumped up a fairly significant amount.
That fight, I mean, he took that. That was some of the most short notice I've ever seen.
Was it like 8 hours? If I'm not mistaken.
He had a full night's sleep notice to take that fight. It was crazy because I was there. One of my teammates fought, so I was there cornering the night before we weigh in. No sign of Jimmy. Name's not getting talked about. He is not there. Next day, I get there to the venue. I get the card. His name's on the card. I was like, how did this happen? And then he gets out there and wins super fast in the first round. I was like, this guy is about that. So that was impressive.
Absolutely. And this is, to just keep adding on to that was Jimmy's 7th pro fight this year. He's been very active. And he's not fighting cans either.
No.
He had a fight of the year contender with Quentin Richards, Dave. You know that should be on there, right? Anyway, and he also fought Dylan Budka. You know, he took Dylan Budka to a decision. So happy to see him get a win under the Carnage Fight Series banner. Looking to even up that record. He said after his win at Future Fighting, he's not proud of his record. Hey, man, you're a lot more than your record shows. You know, you're one of the most entertaining fighters we've had on Carnage Fight Series.
Yeah.
And we greatly appreciate you stepping in. So definitely looking forward to having him back. The name that I would like to throw out there for who I think he should fight next is also an Ohio fighter, Ohio man himself, Tobias Taylor. Another guy who's one win under 500, 8-9 versus 12-13 now in Jimmy. Winner gets to even out their pro record. I think that makes a lot of sense. And like I said, definitely looking forward to seeing Jimmy Sandlin again. He's been very open about, I wasn't managing my career properly. I had the wrong people working with me. Now he's working with the Demolition guys. He's working with Gary Young. Quentin Richards was in his corner. Like, talk about learning from a loss. The guy that he fought was cornering him. Like, very, very interested to see what 2026 holds for Jimmy Sandlin. For sure.
I think that speaks volumes as him as a person and as a fighter. Hey, I lost to you. Let me learn from you. You know, let me train with you. Let me pick up on the things and work on the things that was my fault in that fight again that we had. So just right there just shows you Jimmy's dedicated to this. He's open-minded, and he's not one of those cocky fighters like, oh, I lost, I don't want to talk to you, I don't want to be around you. He's like, I lost you. Hey, what can I do to get better where I could have maybe beaten you? And works with those people. And I give them a lot of credit for that, because I know this is an ego game, and a lot of fighters probably wouldn't do that. Connor, I mean, you got to help me out here. It's an egos game here.
100%. I mean, I'm guilty of it. I don't think there's just especially right after a fight, it would be very hard for me to go up to the guy that just beat me in front of a bunch of people and be like, hey, dude, you were better than me. What makes you better than me? Like, I don't think I could ever get myself to do it. So props to him for being able to do that and learn from it. I mean, that's just the difference of him being a pro and me being an amateur. I haven't been able to tune into that yet in my head and let it go. And so maybe one day I'll get there, but I'm not there yet.
Well, before we move on, any last thoughts on this co-main event, boys?
Great fight.
Good entertainment fight. That's exactly what you want to see in a pro fight.
Yes.
Heck yeah. So then we go into our main event of the evening: Charlie Cleveland versus Cam Graham. This fight did not go the way I thought it was going to go. I'm going to be 100% honest. It did not, because it went the distance. I could have sworn somebody was going to get knocked out. I really did think so. We saw hints of it possibly, but then it turned into a grappling match, and Charlie Cleveland pulled out the unanimous decision, which I think the judges did get it right, because he had so much control time. Clayton, let's start with you on the main event.
Yeah, I'm with you, Zach. If you would have given me $1,000 and said put it on what fight you think will not go the distance, I would put $2,000 on Cam Graham and Charlie Cleveland. Like, come on now. It's two big boys, two guys that make a living out of finishing fights, right? But we also got to see a side of Charlie Cleveland that we haven't really gotten to see yet. You know, he shot takedowns. He stayed on top. He was active on top. You know, he was looking for key locks. He was looking, I think he threw up a Von Flue choke at one point. Head and arm. Like, he was active on top. And if MMA is about imposing your will, that's MMA. He imposed his will on Cam Graham and executed his game plan to perfection. Am I a little disappointed as a fight fan that we didn't get another Charlie Cleveland head kick? Yeah, absolutely. Like, come on. But definitely a good win for Charlie Cleveland. A lot of extracurriculars after the fight, too. Connor even got name dropped in the post-fight speech, which I missed that originally. And after Charlie was walking out of the cage, you guys said that on the broadcast. I was like, wait, hang on. So I went back and found that spot. I was like, oh, shit, he's talking about the interview that we did on here. So great performance from Charlie. Like I said, a lot of extracurricular, which made it kind of fun, right? Like, come on now, this is MMA at the end of the day. Like, we're not running a ballet school here. So, but overall, great fight, good main event. No real complaints. Great show.
Yeah, and it was nice because you got to see. Even Charlie talked about it in his post-fight interview. He's like, everyone just thinks I'm just a stand-up guy, and this time I showed him that I can grapple. I'm not one-dimensional, which was nice because we did see Charlie on his back too. It's not like he was always on top. I mean, there was a 30-pound, there was a 35-pound difference between these two boys, and he got reversals, got on top, and stayed on top. The weight didn't matter to Charlie. He made sure to make a statement like, hey, I don't care if you're bigger than me. I'm going to control you. So fantastic job by Charlie. Connor, what was your thoughts on this while also being name dropped there?
Well, I will say throughout the whole night, I had some moments where I totally looked like I knew what I was talking about. I said, this guy should do this. He does it. It works. Like, I looked like I knew what I was talking about. And then, of course, in the main event, I say there's no way this fight goes to decision. And, of course, they go to decision. So I end the night looking stupid again. So thanks, guys, for that. But it was a very entertaining fight. Like you guys said, Charlie showed that he could do a little bit of everything. We're all expecting the Charlie knockout. He showed that he can strike, obviously. He showed that he can grapple. He showed that he can get his takedowns and have good submission defense as well. Cam was definitely been watching film. He was getting his guard up for them head kicks. He was rolling under them head kicks, smiling at him. And he even his first submission he attempted on the ground on Charlie was a key lock. The one way Charlie has lost in his career was with a key lock. So he went for the one thing that has beaten Charlie. So he definitely studied up on it. But ultimately, he kept getting stuck on bottom. He was running that lockdown a lot on the bottom, which keeps Charlie close. So Charlie can't land some giant, powerful ground and pound shots. But at the same time, it also keeps him on the ground, so it's kind of hard to get up when you're locking the dude on top of you. But those guys, there were some times they were right in front of us. I heard them talking to each other. But even some of the shots they were hit that were like super short shots just to the body were echoing and just so loud. Those dudes were hitting so hard, man. And then, the post-fight, just hearing that was funny. And then, like I said, Charlie name dropped me. I mean, I was stirring the pot. I got it. I said I was going to get these guys. So Charlie went back, watched the interview. Cam said he was better at everything than Charlie. So Charlie said, I'm better at everything than you. It worked. I've got what I wanted. I'm excited. I had a good time. It was a great fight, so I enjoyed it.
Well, you said it nicer than Charlie said it. Charlie was nice.
Charlie said some words that I can't say. So
yeah.
Charlie had some words.
Yeah, he did.
It makes me want to if they ever ran that back, I really want to get an interview.
And I would
because I feel like
wherever
there's
that's
be some words.
I would have to watch that wherever that's at.
I'll tell you what, guys. If I could have my magic sphere and I could matchmake Charlie Cleveland with one guy right now, I would pick, and this isn't really possible right now, but we could definitely see it in the future. Give me Matt Adams.
Yes, I was just thinking that.
Yes,
that would be
I would
fun.
love to see Matt Adams fight Charlie Cleveland. Matt's currently signed to the LFA. He might be getting a heavyweight title.
He is. I think he confirmed it. I think he's getting one.
Did he? Is that confirmed now?
I believe so.
He's on a 3-fight win streak in the LFA. So he'll be going up for the LFA heavyweight title. But that's one fight that I would personally love to see. We have a lot of great heavyweights in Ohio right now too. We got Jeremy Riley, RJ Harris just won his first fight in the LFA. Charlie, obviously, and Matt Adams. Those four guys all trained in Ohio. So very, very, very interesting time to be a fan of heavyweight MMA in Ohio. We got a lot of good talent. I'm very excited.
Yeah, and a lot of these, and Charlie's what? I'm trying to think. Charlie's still in his 20s, right? He's not even
27.
So holy crap! As a heavyweight, he's a baby.
That's a baby.
That's a baby right there. I mean that.
Yeah, he's 27.
And he's what? He's 4-1 now. So shoot, I mean, he already has 5 fights, and he's still young. And most heavyweights primes aren't until their mid-30s. So we've got a long career to watch for Charlie, and I'm excited to watch it. I feel like he's developing better every single time because, like you said, we got to see a good ground game from him this time when we normally only see him striking and knocking people out. And kind of like what Connor was saying, he's right. Cam studied. Cam was watching film because every single time he threw that head kick, that hand came up and then he just smiled. just smiled at him like, yeah, I knew you were going to throw that. And I'm ready.
He did not want to end up as a highlight reel, man. I'll tell you what. He did not want to end up like that. It showed. It definitely showed. But
Yeah,
I will say this. If Charlie Cleveland can string together a couple more fights early next year, we might be seeing him wearing one of these hats by the end of the year.
No, I agree.
It's very possible. Super athletic, obviously to showcase that he can do everything everywhere. I would argue Charlie Cleveland is a top 3 most interesting prospect in Ohio. The only ones I would maybe put in front of him. Obviously, we got Quinn Richards completely undefeated. And maybe just because he's getting the LFA shot. Those are the only 2 guys in Ohio more interesting on the professional side.
I agree. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what's going to happen for his career. It's going to be an exciting time. 2026 is going to be an exciting time, guys, with all these fighters and all these guys that we've seen in the development and they've all fought on Carnage Media and stuff like that. So I'm excited. Do you guys have any last thoughts on this card other than because we'll go through here and do our fight of the night, knockout of the night and submission of the night and get your guys' thoughts. But before that, what's your guys' final thoughts of the card?
If you guys want action, come to Carnage Fight Series, man. We're only going to get bigger. We're only going to get better. The difference between us and any other MMA promotion you're going to come across in Ohio is we don't want to be the best in Ohio. We want to send the most prospects to the UFC in Ohio. That is our goal. If you guys want to see high-level pros, high-level AMEs, guys that are going to get experience and take that to the next level, come to Carnage Fight Series. We're only going to get bigger and better.
Yeah, I mean, the card speaks for itself. That was the best way to end the year. The Fights Before Christmas was perfect title. That was a great Christmas gift to me to watch those fights, get to call those. It was, like I said, it was entertaining from start to finish, man. Carnage always brings entertaining fights. You got to check out the next Carnage show. If you see anything around you, you see Carnage coming up, make sure you got the day off. Make sure you go and check it out. You will not be disappointed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, fun part. I mean, I think we all agree. Fight of the night. I think we all agree. Does anybody have anybody else they want to put up?
I mean,
we put anybody else.
I mean, I would. Obviously, I would just want to. Cam and Charlie was fun, but
respect to Cam and Charlie.
Respectfully, that was fun. But I mean, come on, we know what it is. We know what it is.
Deacon Sawchuk versus Kyle Paul. So
yes,
that
absolutely.
Fantastic fight, guys. Both of you, Kyle, make sure you keep your head up because that was a fantastic fight.
Yeah, dude, incredible.
Just get ready for your next fight because I'm hoping you come to Carnage Fight Series for your next fight because I want to watch you fight again.
Absolutely.
And then, I mean, I guess there's only really one submission, guys. So I guess we've got a submission of the night, and that was John Leark versus JD McNett. So.
Edward John.
Yep.
so congratulations to them for that. JD, I'm excited to see you fight again 2026. Let us know when you want to fight again, buddy. We'll get you back on, I promise you. And then knockout of the night. I think we're all going to agree on this one too, but I'll let you guys say.
I'm kind of torn on it just because so I like Jimmy's because it was everybody loves a cool walk off. He hits it, walks off. That's cool. But Gamblin, his was to defend his belt against a high level opponent. So it's like, which one do you want to give it to? But out of pure spectacle and awe factor, I would give it to Jimmy Sandlin for the knockout and the walk off. That was really slick. So
I also have to give it to Jimmy Sandlin. Anytime you see a pro do that. That doesn't happen. You don't see that happen as much. So definitely one punch, went down, walk off. Give me Jimmy Sandlin for that one.
Well, you say that, but hasn't Jimmy done that almost 2-3 fights in a row now?
I mean, I don't think he's walked off with Maverick Williams, I guess. ECC Cage Fighting doesn't have a wonderful media pay-per-view company to work for them to film their fights. So I would
give us the call.
Exactly. Call us, please.
But yeah, no, I think we've got it because I'm going with Jimmy Sandlin versus Jay Haas on that one. I think Jimmy did a fantastic job, and so did Jay. fantastic job, Jay. I hope we can see you back here on Carnage Media and Carnage Fight Series. So, guys, I mean, we had an amazing night of fights. I hope everybody enjoyed their little Christmas gift from Carnage Fight Series with this card. Had a little bit of everything. And I want to thank everybody for helping us out here in 2025. We had a fantastic year. I'm looking forward to 2026. And yeah, I mean, guys, thank you to you guys, because I know a lot of these fighters, they tell me at these fights, like, hey, I always tune in to see what they have to say about me. It's like, ooh, I hope we said something good.
Nice.
I hope we didn't disappoint. So thank you to you guys. Thank you to all the viewers. Next, I can say this. Next Carnage Fight Series card is going to be a pro boxing, amateur kickboxing card, February 6th. That is a Friday. It'll be at Venue 18, Fostoria, Ohio. And I know we've already got some guys already booked on this. Quentin Richards is going to fight on that one. So I'm excited to see him box. It's been a long time, I think, since we've seen him just box. So looking forward to that one. We've got Andrew Smith coming back after his injury. So this is going to be his first fight back. I'm excited to see him because he's an exciting fighter to watch. He can stand and bang, but he can also go to the ground and roll with you. So that's going to be fun as well. And other than that, boys, Clayton, where can they find you here, bud?
You guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter at cscalina12. If you guys want to get involved with us, sponsor us in any way, hit me up. You know, we'd love to have you. We'd love to talk to you about what we can offer you. Secondly, any amateur, pro, MMA fighters, boxers, kickboxers, if you guys want to get on our shows, hit us up. You know, Zach's DMs are always open. Gary Young's DMs are always open. My DMs are always open. Hit us up. We'd love to get you matched up.
Yes, sir. Con.
You guys can always find me here. Every time we're posting videos here talking about anything, man. Local MMA shows, UFC, me and Kev talking about pro wrestling and the WWE. You know, I'm always here talking about stuff. You can find me doing commentary like I did last night. And then obviously you can follow me on Instagram, I.am_Connor Smith. That's where, if you keep up anything with me, that's where it'll be posted. But I do believe I got some fight news in the work coming soon. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to be back fighting again. So yeah, that's all from me.
Awesome. Yes. And you can always find me here with these guys, either that or behind the screen helping these guys out, producing it. Or you can see me at the fights, run around with a chick with my head cut off. Just look for the bald guy running around all sweaty. But I want to thank everybody who is tuned in here for 2025. This will be our last podcast of the year. I'm thinking about doing a little something special. Kevin threw me an idea of maybe we just take all the shows, all the cards that we did in 2025, and starting on New Year's Eve, we string them all together and we just play them for you guys. So keep an eye out on that. I'm thinking about we're probably going to do that. So that will be the final broadcast we have of 2025. And we've got enough footage. I'm pretty sure it's going to take us into 2026. So if you guys like fights and you want that, keep a check out here on our YouTube channel. We will be having all fights streaming until you get to see Carnage Fight Series 5 Fights Before Christmas. So until then, guys, I thank you guys all for your support. We thank all the fighters who fight on our card, who come on here and do interviews. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here. We do this stuff for you guys. So I really appreciate you guys coming out here. And we're hoping we can help you guys build your brand just as much as you're helping us build our brand. So again, thank you everybody for what you guys do on the Carnage Media team, at the Carnage Fight Series team, and everything. It's a group thing, and we couldn't get it done without all your guys' help. So thank you, Clayton. Thank you, Connor. Thank you, Kevin. Thanks, Wade, and everybody else. Our cameramen's John, Alex, Tom, all of you guys, our ring announcers, Mike Bennett, our ring interviewer, Deborah. So every one of you guys, thank you for all the hard work and time you guys put in. We couldn't do it without you guys. So again, thank you. And we'll see you guys in 2026.